Hello, third grade. It's exciting to see you. I am going to be showing you a new project today where we will be making art using fractions. Now, for this project, you will need some supplies. So I'm going to show you what you need, and you'll want to pause the video while you go get it. You'll need a pencil. You will need scissors. You will need something that's shaped like a circle. Ideally, a pretty big circle, but not bigger than your paper. And you will need 5 different pieces of paper, ideally all in a different color. I have white, I'm using blue, and pink, and green. That looks very blue in the camera, but it is green, and yellow. Now I picked these colors because it'll make my project look fun and springtimey. They're all kind of pastel colors, but you can use any colors you want. If you don't have different colors of paper, 5 different colors of paper, then you can use all white and you can color different designs. Maybe they're all striped or maybe they're all polka dots, and just fill the whole paper with color or designs. Okay, and you'll also need either tape or glue or a glue stick. Honestly, glue or glue stick is best, but I don't have a glue stick, which is kind of embarrassing because I'm the art teacher, but all of my glue sticks are in the classroom. So I'm just going to use what I have, and that's what I want you to do too. Just use what you have. Try your best. Okay, now that I've got all my supplies, I am going to set my white paper aside because this is where the project is going to be. And I am going to get my first paper, which I want to be the blue one, and I'm going to take my plate like this, and I'm going to outline it. So let's see if I can angle my camera to show you a little bit better. Okay, so I've got my plate, and I'm going to take my pencil and draw around the edge of the plate. And I'm going to do that with every single piece of paper. Draw the circle on all of them. Line it up. Put it down with one hand. Push with your hand and circle with your other. If you're left-handed, push the plate down with your right hand and draw with your left. If you're right-handed, push the plate down with your left hand and draw with the right. One more. Push it down and draw the circle. Okay, now I have a circle on all of my paper except white. So the next thing I'm going to do is use my scissors and cut out all of my circles. This is going to take a little while, so be patient, listen to some music, and cut. Now I've got a question for you. If I am cutting, if I use the same plate to create a circle on all of my different colors of paper, you tell me, are these papers the same size? They should be when you finish. So you're going to need to remember that for when we start making our fractions. Okay, there's one circle. Now, because I don't want to spend 20 minutes cutting in front of the camera, I'm going to keep cutting, but I'm going to pause the video and come back when all of my circles are done. Okay? All right, so you pause the video while you cut as well. Okay, so now I've unpaused, and in those seconds, I now have, whoop, dropped them, sorry guys, 4 circles, and one sheet of white paper that I haven't cut yet. And my circles are all the same size. 4 circles, all the same size. I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to set it aside, the blue. I'm going to keep my blue on my white paper and not touch it for a little while. In fact, this might help you keep your project organized. You should glue or tape your blue circle down wherever you want it. My project is going to be exploding fractions. Maybe your fractions are placed differently, but I've now taped it down so it's right in the middle of my paper. Again, glue is even better than tape, but I don't have that. Now what I'm going to do with my circles that are all the same size is I've stacked them to make it easier on me, and I'm going to fold them in half. It looks like a taco. Fold it in half. It's a circle, which means any direction you fold it is going to be in half. Now I have 3 tacos, and I'm going to cut along the crease. A trick that I do to make sure that I'm cutting easily is I fold it and I use my fingernail to make sure that fold is creased. We call that creasing the paper. And then I'm going to open it up, open our taco, and I'm going to do something else where I bend it backwards. Do you see how I'm bending the paper? See that? And I'm going to bend it and uncrease it. That way, the paper is nice and flat. See how flat that is? But I can see the crease really well. So don't actually take yours out. If you did, put them back together like I just did. Okay, so it's not as straight of a taco, but it still works. Now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut these 3 pieces of paper in half along that line. Make sure you only have 3. Don't cut all of them. One of them should be on your white paper. Okay, so now I've cut them into half circles. How many half circles do I have? Think about it for a moment. 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 6 half circles. And I'm going to choose one color. I'm going to pick pink. I'm going to take them both, take those half circles, and I'm going to glue them onto my page. You know what? Yeah, I am. No, I'm not. Sorry, guys, I'm skipping a step. We're not going to do the half step because it takes up too much of the space. So instead, we've got our half circles, and now I'm going to fold it one more time, all 6 of them, into a quarter circle. This one, it's a little bit more important that you're very careful where you fold and you make sure you're really folding it in half. It should all line up on the top. You shouldn't see any big edges. If you can see a teeny tiny bit of edge, that's okay. But it should be mostly all 1 quarter circle. So we're going to do the same process where we crease the edge. I'm going to uncrease it so it's flat and make sure they're all lined up. That's really important. If you're worried that they're going to move, take them out and cut them separately because we're going to cut along that crease again. So let's do some math. We had 3 colored circles and we cut those 3 colored circles into 4 groups. 3 circles, 4 groups. How many quarter circles do we have now? What's 3 times 4? It's 12. If you want to check, go ahead and count your pieces and make sure you have 12. And now pick one color. I'm going to pick pink. I'm going to separate all my pinks and anything else, my green and my yellow, I'm going to set aside. Pink, pink, Yellow and green, yellow and green, and pink. Okay. Now take your two other colors that you've set aside and set them somewhere else, not on your work. Now we're going to, first I want to just check our work. We have 4 quarter circles that should fill up the entire space. And it does! Now I like the idea of an exploding fraction, so I'm going to move it a little bit out to the side like this so that I have 4 circles on mine. If your circle is smaller than mine, maybe you can make it explode even more. Ooh, I like how that looks. You know what? Mine is going to explode off the page because I really like how that looks. So you're going to take your glue or your tape and tape it down or glue it down into place where it should be. If it's not perfect, that's okay as long as you like how it looks. But it is important that you don't cover your first circle entirely, because if you do, you won't be able to remember that it's there, right? Oops. My tape unrolled. And last piece. Ta-da! Okay. This is how it's looking so far. I think it looks cool already. Now we have how many pieces left? We had 12 and we taped down 4. So how many do we have left? 12 minus 4 is 8. And check. Got 4 green and 4 yellow. 4 plus 2. No, 4 times 2 is also 8. So the math works out. Now we're going to set one of these colors aside. I'm going to set yellow aside. Yellow is my favorite color, so I want to do it last. Yellow's going aside. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows. Now you should have 4 fourths of one color. Stack it together, and we're going to fold it in half. You know what? Mrs. Hendricks was silly again. I'm going to keep them together. Since I've set them aside, it will be easier to sort next time. So I have the yellow and the green, and I'm going to fold them all in half. Right? This one is a little trickier. If you want to fold them and do each color by itself, that's a good idea. Do the green first, the yellow. Up to you, because this is pretty stiff. That's a lot of paper to fold. Now I'm going to cut it right along that crease. If you want to do the uncreasing trick, you can. Okay. And they were in fourths, right? I had 4 green and 4 yellow. 4 plus 4 is 8. And now I just cut that in half. What do I have? I have 16 pieces. I'm going to separate my yellows because I want to do those last. Yellows are going to the side. Green is in my hand. Do it again with this stack. Yellow is going to the side. Green is in my hand. Now I have 8 greens. Count it and check. And let's check our math as well. I'm going to line the green up with my original blue circle. It might move around, but that's okay. Our fraction pieces should all work out. Ooh, that's looking cool. This is looking almost like a lily pad right now. Oh, and I am missing one. So I'm going to check, and aha! There was one green that had stacked. See? That's why I had to check. That's why I had to check to make sure I wasn't actually missing anything. Now I know I'm not. So let's also check and see, do 2/8 make 1/4? They do. So I'm going to scoot my 2/8 on top of my pink fourths, and then I'm going to explode those a little farther out. Mine's going really far off the page. I think that looks awesome. Wow, that looks cool. Okay, now I need to tape them down. Because there's 8 of them, that's going to take a little while. So I'm going to pause the video while I tape them down. All right, putting on my last piece for my green 8th pieces. Show you how it looks so far. Oh, it looks so cool. Now last, yellow. This is my favorite color. So I have my yellows, and this is pretty small, this piece of paper. If you're using a smaller circle, it's going to be even smaller. So maybe you can fold it in half, but maybe it's too hard. If it's too hard, it's small enough and you're smart enough that you can cut it without folding it. But I'm going to fold it. Folding is better. Only cut without folding if you can't, because it won't fold. Ooh. You're using construction paper or something like that, it might not fold. I'm using colored printer paper. All right. Now it's nice and small. Let's take a look at this. We have 1/1. We have 4/4. We have 8/8. Once we cut the yellow in half, which is currently an 8th shape, what are we going to have? Think about it this way. You have 8ths, and you're going to give each 8th 2 pieces. What is 8 times 2? 16. Good. Okay, cutting in half very carefully because there's a lot of paper and it doesn't want to cut, and we did it. Now these pieces are teeny tiny. So we've got our project, and I'm going to first check my math. This is an optional step, but as you saw on our 8th step, it's a good step to make sure you're not missing any pieces, and also to make sure that fractions still work. Does math still function? So, since I have so many pieces and it's important to me that I do this extra step, I will pause the video again and come back to you when I have a complete, oh, we're at the halfway point, when I have a complete circle. Time for my last piece. It fits. Okay. So this is 16/16. That is a lot. I don't even know if you're doing that many fractions. So I'm going to put 2 in each of my green pieces. 1, 2, 1, 2. I could check the pink and make sure 4 yellow fit in the pink, but I already know they do. If you want to practice your fractions though, that's a good way to do it. Okay, 2 in each of them, 2 over here, and 2 over here. And now I'm going to explode them. So scooch this up and out, scooch this, our tablecloth, up and out, 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 up and out. Okay, I'm gonna pause and tape this sucker down, and then I'll show you the finished product. All right, 3rd graders, I am taping down my last 16th piece. Can't wait to show you the finished product. Okay, now because I use tape, I have to be careful and pick up with the white paper. There it is. And because I use tape, it's trying to fall off. Oh my goodness, it is beautiful. It looks cool like that too. Ah! Okay, so I'm gonna have to tape down the corners, these big pieces that are now heavy, but it looks so cool. So we have, hold it like this blue piece, which is 1/1 or 16/16. We have this pink piece, which is 4/4 or 16/16. And we have these green pieces, which is 8/8 or 16/16. Because we have all of the pieces, they're all the same. And these guys, of course, yellow, 16/16. If you are confused anytime you're doing fractions about how they add up, think about it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4 16ths is the same as 2/8, which is the same as 1/4. Figure it out like that, and you now have a beautiful work of art. I hope you had fun. Please email me with pictures of what you made, and I can't wait to see your art. Bye, guys.